Hello guys, welcome back. Okay guys, today the news broke out that Queen Elizabeth II, who happens to be the head of state of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and also who happens to be the first ever longest serving queen, is dead. As she was said to have passed on Thursday after doctors announced their concern for her health. And the Queen died peacefully in Balmoral this afternoon, and the King and Queen Consort will remain in Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow as the royal family tweeted. The Queen, who was 96 years old, died in the presence of her family members, as she will be succeeded by her son Charles, Prince of Wales, as he was named the successor in 2018 by the Queen at the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting. And there has been plans that has been made regarding her demise, and here are the plans for the next 10 days regarding the demise of the Queen. London with the death of Queen Elizabeth II, who ruled for more than 70 years. The United Kingdom has been plugged into mourning and at least 10 days of solemn ceremony. Few alive anywhere in the world will have witnessed anything like the carefully orchestrated and detailed plan, including gun salutes, bells pealing across the land, and millions gathering to pay tribute. Codenamed London Bridge, the plan for the Queen's funeral has been years in the making, and stage manages on otherwise uncertain few weeks for the nation from the succession to a new king to a period of national mourning. The Queen's funeral and the eventual coronation of her eldest son, Charles, who is 73. And according to advanced briefing with Buckingham Palace officials, day one will be Britain is now in a period of official national mourning that lasts until the Queen's funeral. From the moment of Queen Elizabeth's death in Balmoral Castle in Scotland, Charles officially became the monarch of the United Kingdom of Britain and Northern Ireland, plus the head of states of Commonwealth countries such as Australia and Canada. It's a busy time for the new king. We will speak with Prime Minister Liz Truss, release a written statement, and record a TV address to the nation to be broadcast later Friday. And such is the expected outpouring of grief. Space has been allocated outside of Buckingham Palace, the British monarch's administrative headquarters, for flowers and other tributes from the public, before they are then gathered and taken to a designated floral tribute area in the adjacent Greek Park. Thousands are expected to leave messages in books of condolences at Buckingham and St. James Palaces, also in London, and at Windsor Castle, the family home of Britain's king and queens for more than 1,000 years. Westminster Abbey's bell and Great Storm. The state bell at St. Paul's Cathedral will peal over London from noon for 1 hour. Gun salutes are also planned to be fired at Scotland's Edinburgh Castle and Hyde Park in London, one every 10 seconds for each year of Elizabeth's life. The Sebastopol bell, captured from Russian forces during the 19th century Crimea War, will also sound at Windsor Castle once a minute for every year of her life. Flags on official buildings will fly at half-staff, while flags in London's Parliament Square and the Mall will be dressed in black crape and tassels. A service of Thanksgiving takes place at St. Paul's Cathedral, although the new king is not expected to be there. And in day 2, the Queen's body will be moved to Holy Road, a residence in Scotland capital Edinburgh. and members of the Privy Council, a committee of senior current and former politicians and judges who advise the monarch, will hear the new king say an oath and give a speech. And for the first time, this meeting, a constitutional formality known as the Ascension Council, will be televised. Also in attendance will be the Archbishop of Canterbury, the most senior clergyman in the Church of England, which the new king now heads. The king's proclamation will be met with a 41-gun salute at Hyde Park fired by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery and a 62-gun salute at the Tower of London by the Honourable Artillery Company. The one of many flourish of pageantry, a ceremonial tone or fanfare would sound, and a Kata King of Arms, a heralded position that has been in the royal household since 1484, proclaims Charles the new king from a balcony of St. James Palaces. And in day 3, a service will be held at Edinburgh St. Giles Cathedral with members of the royal family in attendance. Charles is expected to meet Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon at the Scottish Parliament, also called Holyrood, where he will be met with a 21-gun salute. And day 4, the Queen's coffin will leave St. Giles Cathedral by car before it is transferred to a train, which will travel slowly overnight to London. The new king and his wife Camilla will hear messages of condolence in Westminster's Hall between the Houses of Parliament in Westminster's London. And in day 5, after the coffin arrives in London, it will be transferred to Buckingham Palace by car, and the king continues his whistle-stop tour of the country with a visit to Belfast, where he will visit Hillsborough Castle and St. Anne's Cathedral. Such is the importance of moving a body to this temporary resting place. There will be now a full rehearsal. Day 6, Elizabeth's body will be taken from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster in a gun carriage procession, a symbolic and momentous moment. The coffin will be draped in the royal standard, of which the imperial state crown will be placed on a velvet cushion, followed by the new king, Prince William, and Harry, alongside their other children and members of the royal family, will follow on foot. Day 7. On this day, world leaders begin to arrive to pay their respects at Westminster's Hall. Meanwhile, the new king meets members of the royal family at Buckingham Palace. Day 8. The new king meets the prime minister at noon for his first official weekly audience, a constitutional custom in which the head of the political executive informs the head of state about parliamentary business, as dramatized in The Crown and many other TV and film scenes. Day 9. Not until 10 days after her death would Elizabeth be given her official send-off at Westminster's Abbey with members of her family, British establishment figures, and head of state from across the world in attendance. And during the morning, Westminster Abbey will fill up with British and foreign dignitaries, including all surviving former British Prime Minister. The final well-wishers will be admitted to Westminster's Hall to pay their respects at 6:30 a.m. before the coffin makes its short journey with the imperial state crown, the orb and the scepter all on it. And at 11 a.m., that is 6 a.m. exactly, the pallbearers will stop at the grave of the unknown warrior, and Big Ben will strike just once to make a national 2-minute silence. The last post reveal and the national anthem will end the hour-long funeral service before a procession that could be as long as 1.5 miles then carries the coffin past Buckingham Palace to Wellington Arch and on Elizabeth's final resting place at Windsor. Okay guys, that is all we have for today as the announcement of the Queen of Britain.